live from live from Mix Vibes Radio. This is the Mike and Sean Show. We know more than you, but even if we don't,
we're gonna say that we do. Hello,
you-
hello, everybody.
what's going on? How you feel, Shawnee?
I'm feeling good. I just wanted to say what up to all our listeners, our new listeners.
Our two listeners. It's pretty awesome to have that.
It's very new because this is a new thing we got going on. My name is Sean Lynch, a.k.a. Shawnee Whispers, and this is my left-hand man.
Mikey Durso, a.k.a. Choco.
We're just a bunch of knuckleheads from Queens that are going to voice our opinion. And you're going to like a lot of it. You might not like some of it, but you're going to listen. I can tell you that. I'm almost positive that we're going to keep you engaged.
I hope so. This is what it's all about, right?
Absolutely. So I just real quick, we're going to give you guys a quick idea and synopsis of what we plan to bring you guys as listeners.
Well, it's a fun, honest, engaging,
Keeping it real
entertainment.
Keeping it real to the point of seriousness, but there's always going to be some dick and fart jokes. I mean, it's just about what we're about.
And we're going to talk about the two most loyal and argumentative conversations ever: politics and religion. I mean, because that's
right. We're going to be like a bar, so
Yeah.
there's going to be no religion and no politics involved.
I think it would be a great idea if we talked about that because
No.
well.
So no Mahatma Gandhi and none of that. But what we're going to talk about, and I can tell you a lot about what we're going to talk about, is the New York Mets.
The Mets.
We are going to be a topical show, but we are going to be very sports heavy.
Sports heavy,
and we're both diehard Met fans. So you're going to be stuck with some
other than a diehard Met fan.
Well, that's the truth. we die very hard with our team.
Awful.
So to all you Yankee fans, we're going to give you guys all the love as well. We're New Yorkers, man. We're baseball guys. We're both purists in the sense of paying respect to good teams.
It's all about the game.
And we're going to talk.
Most
We're going to talk
important.
real. We're going to keep it real with everything we talk about, but mostly sports and just you'll get an honest opinion from us. So that much we can promise you. I think also what we're going to do is we're going to break down quickly some of what we're going to bring you. So I said that earlier, and I think we both have things that we enjoy in our lives that we look up to as far as when it comes to radio, terrestrial radio shows. We both have people we look up to or shows that we look up to. And I said, Mike, when we were talking last night about how or what our identity was going to be in this show. And I said, if you were to take Howard Stern and Joe Rogan and they somehow had a man love baby and it was a diehard sports fan that grew up on hip hop in Queens.
It would look like me, yeah.
Our show is going to be basically that.
Yeah,
So
it would be a deformity.
A deformity.
Would make you laugh.
It's definitely a deformity.
It's definitely, it's special.
Can we say deformity?
No,
we can, right?
Probably not.
You just-
I think I just said two things that we can't say, and already we've been canceled. So
listen.
thank you very much. And,
Thanks for coming, guys. All right,
so, peace out.
see you
It
next
didn't
week.
matter what we were going to do.
All right, so I got a new partner. No, I'm going to stick with you for a little bit. Just don't get us thrown off the
Yeah,
air.
well.
Oh, wait, it's podcast. We can say whatever the hell we want.
What the fuck?
All right, so let's keep that train of thought going. And again, guys, we're keeping it real. There are times that we will have serious thought processes and thought and opinions to give you, but most of the time
But it's just
it's
real
in
life.
jest.
Again, real life and honest. We're here to debate, have difference of opinion, laugh, most important, laugh at each other because it's going to get, it's
gonna get
it's
heavy.
going to get funny and stupid,
Yeah.
which
People-
with us is kind of the same thing. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line between stupid and funny.
no, it's not with us.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, you're right. There's definitely not a
you
fine
want to
line between
clean
stupid
it
and
up. That's just out of the fucking question.
Well, clean it up is kind of one of the things that I say to a lot of people. Meanwhile, I'm a fucking dirtbag.
yeah.
So I need to talk
Don't-
about cleaning
it's
it up.
what I do. What I say, not what I do.
Right. Well, yeah.
Most
I don't
important,
live by that either.
just most important. Don't be a dick.
Well, so he obviously was taking lessons from Dr. Rick on how not to become your dad.
Yeah.
Like, don't stop bringing up that dad shit. It's a TV show, not a program.
Oh, that's what
All
it
right.
is.
So,
I got it.
all right, ladies and gentlemen,
I
the other
just
thing.
love your education. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm here for you, bro.
Yeah, I know. You're like my professor that I never went to see. But thanks.
You got it, bro. I'm here for you. So, aside from our sports and our topical news, we're just gonna rip off opinions on what we hear going on in the world, funny and not funny. But we are also gonna be heavily I don't even know what the best way to say it is, but influenced by pizza. And I'm
Oh,
going to tell you
pizza.
why.
Sport and pizza.
We're two dudes from Flushing, Queens. Okay, we grew up on Sanford Avenue and Parsons Boulevard.
Two
which is-
knuckleheads from Queens, right
Essentially,
off
it's
the
like the heart of Flushing.
yeah. We were the beating of that heart.
Yeah, we beat the heartbeat
Beat the
as we beat.
shit out of it.
We grew up with some good pizza. We grew up with some shitty pizza, but we got some good pizza, and Queens has always been, known for having its share of good pizza.
Yeah.
So for a lot of you that may or may not know, last year, I started a Facebook group, a private group called the New York City Pizza Gurus, and that group has turned into an animal.
5,500 people.
I mean,
eating pizza daily.
it's crazy.
Just to show you what pizza they're eating, their cholesterol levels are through the roof.
And I'm to blame for a lot of that. And, it's unfortunate that, pizza's not the healthiest food in the world.
Not.
But I did pick a hell of a food to promote and
It's
go
the best,
crazy about.
you
And
know.
I'm passionate about it. And the reason I started it, the group really started as a joke on a whim for us to just, talk about pizza. We needed a forum. And we needed a place to just, chat and sit back and bullshit.
Right. Talk about the best pizza you ever had.
And the worst.
Right.
Both.
And the worst. And call each other out for their worst when
Right.
you posted. Plus, giving it Olympic rating.
100%.
Like,
and
who doesn't love
Olympic
an
ratings.
8.5 pizza?
Right, because we did get crushed on, trying like apparently we're Dave Portnoy
Was he
clones, which is, I mean, give me a break. Listen, I have all the respect for the guy. He built an empire off of a podcast.
Off of a dick show.
But he's a dude from Boston that, I mean, okay, he knows pizza. You got to be an idiot to not know what good pizza is. So obviously he knows what he's talking about, but some of his reviews are just ridiculous. We are not Dave Portnoy clones. I do have a lot of respect for the man, but we are our own people. We
This
grew up
has
in
nothing to do with those guys.
no
on that
barstool. I mean,
show.
this is
Nothing
us.
like that.
We're New York City Pizza Gurus. I mean, this is the Mike and Sean show with the affiliation of the NYC Pizza Gurus.
Yeah.
So if you're not yet a member, go on Facebook. Type in on your search bar NYC Pizza Gurus
Pizza Guru.
and request to be a member, and I will go on there and definitely get you in there if you're not a spammer, because I get spammed a lot and I don't like being spammed. It's pissing me off.
Does it smack you?
Smacks me
Does
with
it hurt?
spam.
Does it hurt when you get smacked?
I used to like eating spam when I was broke.
Yeah.
I don't like being spammed on Facebook.
I never. Even broke, I didn't.
I
I'd rather eat.
Vienna sausages and spam, bro.
I'd rather
Stop your
eat
lying.
bread.
Ketchup sandwiches? Dude, listen.
Well, I had
you
those-
had a little bit more money than me growing up,
Little
but
bit.
not that much more.
Not that much more.
You had a phone, I didn't.
Shit,
That
yeah.
part we definitely
That
knew.
I remember. You didn't.
And
have
you got a
phone.
microwave first.
Yeah,
It
later.
was like 1994 when
My
everybody
mother
else had their
well,
fucking.
My mother taught me 3 things to make in case she wasn't there. One of them was to throw raviolis in a fucking pot. All right, but
in a can,
Chef
though.
Boyardee raviolis in a can.
Right.
Make pasta and how to make a sandwich.
Ketchup,
right?
ketchup sandwich.
Well, so the tomato and mayo sandwich.
Tomato, mayo, salt, and pepper. That's a good
Cucumber.
sandwich, though.
Yeah,
That's
well,
a gindaloon sandwich. That's like
that's-
some, it's a wife beaten, fucking marinara eating.
Didn't appreciate the wife beater until later in life.
Gindaloon.
Not that it should be called that. What it should be called is the Italian tank top.
Oh yeah, we can't say wife beater.
That's awful. That you
Plenty of people still beat their wives, Mike.
yeah.
So
but I don't know if they do it in that shirt anymore.
I mean, it's sensitive. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
all you women that are, that got beaten.
No,
and
no.
I apologize
no,
for that.
don't
but
apologize for it. Just say leave.
leave. Okay.
Leave.
All right.
Leave that alone.
I guess we're
Yeah.
gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah, I would just pretend that never.
It's still called a wife beater. So listen, you know what? In a world of
Tank top.
the cancel culture that we're in, I'm
Quiche.
sorry. My father called it a wife beater. He never beat my mom because she was quite frankly bigger than him, and his name was actually Frank, and she could quite frankly beat the shit out of Frank.
Yeah,
so I
Margaret
never
could
respect-
beat Frank easy.
Yeah, Margaret was a big woman that not a fat woman, but can we say fat? Can't say fat.
Jeez,
either, right?
like what level?
Well, I mean, it was my mom. I could talk about her. She wasn't fat. She was big boned.
that's okay.
She was
Yeah,
a big boned
She
woman.
was big boned.
And she could definitely drop a leg drop like Hulk Hogan.
I
I've
feel
seen it.
like your mother should have been a wrestler.
She probably did.
She could she would
Because she got me Jordans on Christmas and we were broke.
Yeah.
So where did that money come from? Maybe.
wrestling. Yeah, she was wrestling.
She was
on
probably
the
doing
side.
backyard wrestling.
Underground wrestling.
Suplexes and leg drops for her baby to get Jordans. Actually, it
Margaret.
wasn't Jordans back then. It
Margaret,
was,
the
and I'm not, this is a
Rhino.
true story. I'm not even lying. My first pair of kicks as a child, adolescent, was with white leather Pumas with the black suede stripe. And let me tell you something about those sneakers. Those are the Marlboro of sneakers. Those are iconic in the culture of hip hop in which we grew up in, graffiti and hip hop and street life. If you didn't have a pair of white leather Pumas, you weren't shit. And that's why my mother got me the white leather. That's
She
why
wanted you not
That's why
to
she
be
backyard
shit.
wrestled and leg
Yeah,
dropped. So I
she
could
didn't
have
want you to be
Pumas.
shit, like in the eyes of your friends and peers.
I mean, I was shit.
I don't want this kid to
but
be
I wasn't.
shit.
I wasn't perceived. To
I
be
was shit broke. I
Yeah,
just wasn't shit.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I talked a whole lot of shit,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing now. So,
I think this is made for you.
yeah, no, you're right. This is definitely made for us. Because,
Oh yeah, I don't.
because prior to
my
like
shit talking will be going.
yeah, but prior to like maybe like 2002, you were very introverted, quiet, home, like even among us as a
Yeah,
crew.
look,
and then you just like I think you got like abducted by aliens and raped or some shit,
well,
and you came back with, like this talkative guy that just doesn't shut up.
So in my youth, some good and some bad things that have happened in my life, and it kept me from trusting people, even people that are friends. So being around it was like almost like being bipolar, and there's a lot of fear in that.
It's better than being bisexual, Mike. Because
I don't know.
you don't have
I
to
don't
take
know.
a penis if you're bipolar.
You don't have to.
Well, I
but you
mean,
could.
you being bisexual.
Yeah, I'm not. So anyway, fast forward, it became, I slowly started to get out of the shell and trust the world more. And the more I did it and the more I went out on my own, the more I molded myself and became, the guy that doesn't know how to shut the fuck up.
And you know what? For me to tell you that you don't shut the fuck up,
Right.
that's saying a lot.
Because you just want to keep talking and not be interrupted.
Sometimes I can't control myself.
And then I come in and you're like, well, I had 600 more words.
But
Why can't I
what do
finish
they
it?
say about people with problems? The first way to attack it is to admit you have a problem. And I admit I talk a whole lot of shit.
Oh, I talk a lot. I don't.
So,
yeah, I've never denied it.
I'm not going to go to stage 2 quite yet because I enjoy talking.
I'm not gonna shut up for anyone, so it doesn't really matter.
Right. So, all right. So that, I appreciate you explaining that. Now, it's 2021. Are you ever going to get a driver's license? This is the only grown-ass man I know that doesn't have a license. His wife drives him everywhere. The freaking guy. Bro, listen. Let me explain something to you. We didn't grow up in New York City like in the streets of Harlem where the train and the bus and, you could get around anyway. We grew up in Flushing. You had to go to the beach every now and then. You had to go upstate every now and then. You had to move.
So my mother never drove. So when I was a kid and we went everywhere, she would show me how to take the train. I mean, I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, how to take the train to the bus and how to get everywhere. And if later on, if you needed a cab, because obviously I didn't have money, but she showed me how to get everywhere by train and bus.
She was a good mother.
Did
she get...
She
Did
was
she
a
teach you how to transfer from a bus to a
Yeah,
train?
she said so.
you didn't
Ask
pay
for a
twice?
transfer. Make sure you pull that paper.
Because
with
I could
you.
see you paying twice.
No.
Until you
I was,
figured out how to
I was
take a
too
bus and a
small.
train.
I would just go. Sometimes I would just like go under the turnstile or around people on the bus. But
All right, but you know what?
but back to the original question. Yes. How's that?
Yes, you are not going to get your license.
Yes. Yes.
So that's going to segue, us into, because we were talking about trains and buses.
So you're gonna start a donation fund. How to get Mike
No,
Durso
I'm not doing no
license?
GoFundMe for you. You're just lazy and not getting a license.
No.
I remember you asked me to teach you how to drive like 20 years ago. And I was like, no, dude, you're a fucking grown man. Learn how to drive on your own.
See, there it is. It's your fault. If you would just have taken the time to teach me, I would have a license now.
You probably
So-
would not have a license. You just like when I pick you up. I think it makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, it just makes me. I think
At least you don't sit in the back.
No. That's next.
The trains and the buses are going to lead us to our next kind of subject, and that is the history of our nicknames, because we have some unique nicknames.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
You, Shawnee Whispers.
Right. And that is not
And
really...
why did they call you?
Well,
Whispers?
that again, that's not so much from our past and our upbringing. That
Right,
was
that's
more
later.
that was later in life when I started playing sports, competitive softball, really. And it's actually a funny story. We were in Ocean City, Maryland, and it was a nationally ranked tournament. So you go down there, there's 25 teams, whatever it is, and you get points to qualify to go to a national. And the nationals are either Miami or Vegas or whatever. So we went to a couple nationals. But that being said, we were in Ocean City, Maryland, which is, by the way, one of the most beautiful places on the East Coast to visit. There's a place called Secrets that's just ridiculous. You could be dipped in shit and be a single guy and still get laid.
It's a strip joint.
It's not a
It
strip
sounds
joint.
like it's
No, it's not a strip joint. It's actually a club that's inside of a bay club. It's like an outdoor club that has an indoor club in it, and then like 40 different bars. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm mistaken a lot, so let's get used to that, folks. But I think it's like the 4th or 5th largest club in the world as far as capacity. It fit like 8,000 people at one time. It was the place is insane. It's still there. It's awesome. I don't know. It's not a secret anymore, so I don't think it's as good. When I was single, I did a lot of damage in that place. Sorry, baby. I love you so much. I hope you're
It's my
not listening.
past. It's
but
my past talking.
Yeah, I did some damage down there, but it was a great place to visit. It was a good place to play ball. Leading me back to my story was, we were in Secrets, and actually earlier that day, I'm very loud, screaming, cheering my boys on, and my boy Ray Rollins. So I give a shout out to Uncle Ray Rollins. Ray, one of the best U-Trip pitchers, ASA pitchers around. Ray was like, dude, like your voice, like there's no whispering with you there, and it kind of clicked, caught on there, but then it really caught on after we went out to Secrets that night. And my boy was drunk, and he's buying this messy broad drinks all night. There was Secrets was wild because it was groups of girls and groups of guys, and it was like this big orgy that wasn't happening yet. You know what I'm saying? It was like people meeting each other. So these, my boy's trying to get an in. Everybody's got hotels out there, so everybody's doing weird shit after they leave Secrets. My boy's buying his girl drinks all night, and I'm like, yo. I hear her talking to her friend. She didn't know that I was there, and I hear her
together.
And and she's wrecking my boy, like wrecking him. And I'm like, so I turned like over her, and I was like, bro, stop, and pardon my French, and I know that there's the Mike, the boss and the brains behind Mixed Vibe Radio warned me about algorithms and cursing, but this is a story that needs to be told. And I told my boy, I said, listen, man, that bitch. She's a cunt. I said, dude, she's shitting all over you, and I'm sorry. That word is very descriptive, but you know what?
Just leave it. Just
no,
jump
I'm not
over it.
leaving it because that word, a lot of people love that word because it's very descriptive.
Well, the English love that word. They call everybody.
Well, no, forget Scottish. I have another story that just happened in Aruba. I smacked this kid in his mouth, but that's another time. Vinny Cody from Cascarino's with me. Anyway, we'll get back to that. So we're in Ocean City, and I'm like, yo, don't buy this cunt no more drinks. And listen, it wasn't my intention for her to hear me. Trust me. I wasn't trying to be a tough guy, not like that. She heard me through the music, through the DJ and everything. And my other boy was like, whisper much? And this bitch took a drink and flung it at me. And I was like 10 feet away from her with a DJ in a club, and she heard me. So after that joke of a night, everybody kind of started saying Shoney whispers. It wasn't something that, it was a natural kind of thing. It's not like I called myself that. It was my friends and my peers.
But hearing it makes sense that you could talk over louder than a DJ.
Right.
Right, like the DJ's blasting music.
In a club.
And nobody, you know how people lean in and they put their ear and you get your ear yelled off while they're trying to talk to you? You didn't do that.
No.
So it turns out that you yelled through the DJ music.
I just spoke.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to yell. I was trying to speak.
That's your volume.
That's my volume. I don't have a control of my volume.
So did you ever check your DNA?
Yes, I did.
Did you ever see, are you any Italian?
None.
Because it makes no sense not to be Italian.
But I was raised Italian. You know my background. My stepfather.
Being mostly Italian, there's no filter, right? It goes 0, 3 to 10.
Right.
There's nothing in the middle. So when I get loud, I'm not yelling. People go, stop yelling. I'm like, I'm not yelling. I don't have a volume control.
You just talk louder.
I just talk louder.
Right.
It's like, you'd imagine music playing and you're like, so this guy to shut the fuck up. Like, it's so loud. And like, no, sorry. I don't.
It's just not what I do.
I also don't even know how not
But again, see that? And then
curse.
Bartending for 16 years. The name grew over that. It was just, and coming from our part of Queens, people just have nicknames. Before I was Whispers, I was White Boy Sean.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
that was
White
my
Boy
name.
Mike. I mean, like.
You were Choco.
Right, but I was White Boy
Choco
Mike.
started. No, you were always Choco.
No.
You were very rarely called White Boy Mike.
Yeah,
even though you're like 26 shades whiter than I am.
Well,
you're like
21.
You're like Danger Close with the sun type white.
No, here's the thing. I'm mostly Italian. So after I burn, I do get a good tan. But because it's time between the time of sitting out in the sun, I burn again, and then I tan.
I think you're like part of the Italian that's closer to Russia than you are to like
I'm
Sicily.
the Italian that's closer to...
You're not the Moors. Let's just say that.
No,
you know,
I
you
don't
know the
thi-
story with the Moors, right?
I think it's like I might have a little Sicilian.
Listen, I'm sorry to all my Italian friends, but it's history.
Yeah, but right, they like
We're
they
not
don't
gonna-
want to hear it.
We're not going to cancel culture, right?
Yeah, no, cancel. Fuck that. No canceling.
So
But yes.
And
So you get this name, and it sticks, and everything you do, and everybody hears it. Then they go, "Huh, Whispers." It just suits
just
you.
fits,
It just
yeah.
fits perfectly. So then you become.
I didn't.
This whole,
So I didn't object to it because it wasn't like complete insult, and it didn't sound like. I mean, not that I care,
No, but
the
you
one
knew
thing
it-
about me is
it
like
makes sense.
I have superhuman feelings. Does that make sense? So like, if you hurt my feelings, they grow back really, really fast. And I actually stole that from Dwight Schrute in The Office. Just gonna give everybody a little. I'm transparent. I will tell the truth. I heard that, and I do have superhuman feelings. So even if you attack me, and I'm just gonna be, my feelings will be hurt, and then like 10 minutes later, and probably because I smoke a lot of weed, I'm gonna forget about it. And then I'm just not gonna care, and then my feelings are gonna be replenished to 100%, and then I level up.
I get mad, and like I could be angry in a shot, like that, but I don't hold it too long.
Yeah.
You be a real piece of shit, and I won't.
You're kind of moody though, I think.
Moody.
A little bit. You used to be when you were a kid. You used to get like really like.
So I
Like you used to get mad if something happened. You go home. You just go home.
So
and-
one
where
of
did
the-
Mike go? Mike just left.
Yeah, so one of the things about me throughout my whole life and even now is I battle depression. Hardcore.
And I'm friends with you for 30 years, and I'm 38 years.
So I
and I'm
don't-
learning about this now for the first time.
Well, the hard part is it's not that it's never been that easy just to say that people say depression, get
Right. You
over
don't
it.
want to talk about that.
And so at the risk of being made fun of because of it, and then either walking away and then being made fun of that, where I counter it, I was just like,
Go home.
I'll just go home.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight it, and so it grew. It has moments. And so the good thing about it now is,
So the depression wasn't because I was beating your ass on a basketball court?
if to me you were like Manute Bol. Like I was 5'3", 5'5", you were 6'3", and that's not tall.
No,
but
you're
you
right.
were like Manute Bol. So
I
if I
wasn't-
throw the ball up and you block it, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Big white guys are supposed to block the shot of little white guys. Like that's just.
You're right. And you had your. Yeah, you're right. You.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like it was like.
No, you would blow
there's a
by me. And
revelation.
you would blow by me, and I would just chase you and just swat
Well,
the
you're just
ball
like
behind
leaning
you.
over and
Yeah,
just
right.
go,
Exactly.
I
It
got
was-
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could get beaten and recover quickly because I was. Tall.
Yeah. So anyway, from that was now I'm more aware of it, and so it's also comfortable to say it. I
Do
don't
you take medication?
No,
Good
no.
man.
I
I
but I
appreciate
have
that.
but I have been to so many therapists that I've taken what they were teaching me and what I got out of paperwork and books and stuff that were written by.
And you know what? In full
psychologists
disclosure,
and-
you never smoked weed. I mean, you did like occasionally.
Yeah.
But you weren't like what's like some of us were. We were, and to this day, I'm definitely not one that hides the fact that I smoke.
No, but
it keeps me out of a therapist office. And
It would have kept me out when I was younger, but I was also led to believe that this was a problem.
Right.
And then it wasn't because the counterbalance was like sadness is okay.
Yeah.
But nobody's telling you that. The 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
no, back then it was like
Forget it. Like
they
you're
just
weak.
put Robitussin on it.
Yeah.
You're upset. You're depressed. Put Robitussin on it.
The Italians put
Right?
Robitussin.
Fucking Robitussin on everything.
The Greeks do the fantastic. Italians before Robitussin. How's your feeling?
Hispanics.
Pour some Robitussin.
Hispanics is Vicks.
No, this
Vicks
is
every
Vicks.
day.
There you go.
How are you? How was your? You hurt your feelings? Pour some Robitussin on it.
Drink some Robitussin, spread some Vicks on your chest.
you're
and
good.
Suck it up, you little pussy.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
what. That's kind of how we grew up. So you know what?
Yeah,
it's,
basically.
and you know what? I think that's the biggest shock, is to people like us, because we went from that extreme of growing up to the extreme now of cancel culture,
Right.
where I can't even say fat without worrying about saying fat. I can't say certain things. I
If
mean,
you have to think
listen,
about it,
the thing about it is
you're worried.
common sense is not that common. So people understand when other people are being mean. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's a natural ability to feel danger, and it's a natural ability when somebody's talking bad about you or attacking you in a verbal sense. You feel that. You know it. You're not an idiot. These people are complaining about people talking when they're not attacking people.
Right.
So the next thing that I'm worried about is comedy. Is comedy going to be the next medium that's going to be attacked?
Well, it is. It's already being attacked. Like, you say like, what's a joke, right? Our jokes might have been personal, Whereas someone now is not equipped to take the joke the same way that we did, mom jokes and stuff like that.
Right. Well, why is 6 scared of 7?
Right. Why?
Because 7, 8, 9. I mean, that's a fucking funny joke.
Yeah.
So if you're attacking comedy, you're attacking that.
Right, but just the whole spectrum of funny,
Right.
right? It's like, what was funny? Richard Pryor.
Oh,
funny.
listen, you know what? I don't want to be just train of thought. I'm going to write this down. We have to have, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do also on this show
Is stop in the middle of it and take notes.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do that. No, but we're gonna take phone calls, which we didn't mention earlier.
But we'll mention it now.
And we're gonna mention it now.
Let's take a
and-
moment right now and write down notes and say,
No.
like, we're going to be taking phone
Because
calls at
what
some
we're gonna
point.
do is we're gonna have one show dedicated to your mama jokes. And I want all of our friends and family and everybody to call up with their best your mama jokes. And we're gonna set up a thread online, so you don't have to call. You could tweet them. You can whatever we figured out, whatever the genius Mike over here decides how we could get these messages to us, and we're gonna read off every single your mama joke that's sent to us. And because if you remember when I did that on Facebook, that shit was like 700 comments. And my boy was like, "You got to publish it," and I can't find it anywhere because your mama jokes are the best. And if you get offended by a your mama joke, you're the kind of person that I don't want to listen to the show.
Well, that's going back to that. It's the mama joke started there, and sometimes you got personal, right?
And then fought.
And then fought.
Yeah,
And
so
it was a slap
nothing
box.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. You might get slapped so hard that you just look up and you saw Jesus.
The problem with kids these
and
days,
everything changed.
the
And you're like,
problem-
I don't want to do this anymore.
the problem with a lot of people these days is they've never been punched in the face. Sometimes you need a little punch in the face, a little bop in the nose.
The modern day people that talk the most junk know they're not going to get hit,
Of
right?
course, of course.
So I always say, for those people who talk the most junk, what's your reaction when the minute that you get punched in the mouth? Most people will just turn around and walk away. They
Yeah.
won't think that I have to defend myself, but it shouldn't get to that. And I understand that point also. You shouldn't get so offended by something that somebody punches you because your jokes. It's like those rap battles. You ever see them?
They're in each other's face.
They get personal.
Oh my God, you guys
Talk about-
spitting all over 'em.
Spit 'em, and somebody's like,
I couldn't
you
do
just
that.
want to like your automatic reaction would be defend yourself. Anyway, the sensitivity now is to be outraged at everything.
Right.
You know, it's absolute outrage at everything. Don't say that.
Like taking the word men out of woman, taking the word man out of woman.
Yeah, well,
that's what they really want to do.
Like,
they want to take man out of the word woman.
Right. But they want to, yeah. So now they want to take the gender specific, gender fluid. You can use all those phrases, and it's hard because some people are so hard nosed to those old ways, right?
Right.
Like you can't tell somebody in their 60s, like a hardened Queens guy or Brooklyn guy, not to say
Like an
the
Archie
word-
Bunker.
Right. Like I know, like you can't tell Archie Bunker not to say the blacks.
Right. No,
Fad,
listen,
right? Like those
100%.
things, like, right?
They're raised the way they're
Right,
raised.
right.
Listen, we were in some circles of our growing up, we were the minorities, right?
I have
So-
pictures where I'm the only white guy
Right.
in a group
I mean,
of
and
10
a lot of
or
pictures.
20.
I have a lot of pictures. But that being said,
Where's Waldo? Where's the
listen,
white guy?
There was never a day that me or you ever talked to each other and said, "Oh my God, we're being picked on by these Hispanic guys, and they're calling me white boy Sean."
Shit, if I ever sound like that.
You do sound
just
like that. by the
Punch
way.
me in the
at
chest.
like 2:30 in the morning after like fucking 10 shots of Jameson.
Well, shut
That's how
up.
you order your drinks, by the way.
So,
Your voice drops dramatically. It's scary. It makes me uncomfortable.
like sweaty balls.
No, you start talking like like your balls are just in a vice grip, kind of like that.
That is ugly.
It's weird.
That is ugly.
I'm not
what
lying
you
to you
just
though,
did.
because you get high
Oh,
pitch. I'm doing
shit.
it low. That you get very high pitch when you're drunk and you talk a lot and you're like,
Let me get I want nine Jameson shots
Do you
for
know
my
how
crew.
hard that is? First of all, I got to drop my balls, suck in my gut, take my shoulders out, throw
well,
them in the back,
the
lean
fact,
over.
The fact that you're 56, your balls probably dropped already.
56.
Yeah, so that part. No, but anyway, all right. Let's get back
Let's
to the
get
nickname-
into the
let's get
fact
back
I
to the-
just aged 12 years.
Let's get back to the nickname. The nickname explanations. We're gonna move on to our friend Michael Durso, aka Chocolate, aka Choco.
How I got the name?
Yes.
All right. So.
And I was there for it, so I'm gonna corroborate or dispute whatever bullshit you just.
Basically, I was sent away to school for being a bad kid, and when I came back, I was into breakdancing before, but I was more immersed into the
You
hip
were a
hop.
better dancer when you came home.
So when I was immersed into the hip hop culture because when I was out there, I was the minority also in that school that I was at. So everything was video music box, video music box, video music box.
100%.
And as I got
Uncle
older,
Ralph, shout out to Uncle Ralph.
Ralph McDaniels, baby. So I never I never. I always wanted to be in the middle of the battles, right? So I practiced, and at first you
loved jumping in those circles, bro.
So as I got older, I would stay home, watch Video Music Box. When that was over, I'd watch BET. I think it was on the street or something like that. Record the videos, practice, see the moves, practice, work hard at it, so that I went out and the circle formed. I could jump right in it.
When we went to
Avanti's,
Palladium,
Octagon,
Sound Factory, 1018.
1018. All right, and is there any more? I don't know.
We used to go to a ton of different places.
The Tunnel.
The original Sound, 1018, the Tunnel, the Octagon.
So
Palladium.
I think it was our boy Pedro, aka Bosque, who started calling me Chocolate.
Chocolate because of the way you move.
Right, but also because being white.
Yo, and Mike, I'm not, and this is, we have, for the folks who are listening and not watching, we have two mics. We have Mike the engineer and Mike the actor. So Mike the engineer, just so you understand, this kid would shred the blackest of black dancers in these clubs. No matter how, dude, these dudes are getting up there and they're dancing like, they're not dancing like Charleston in the Fresh Prince. You know, they're dancing like, you know, Carlton, whatever the hell his name
Charleston
is.
is
Charleston. I like Charleston shoes, bro.
Yeah, you would just go to shove
But
it in the mouth.
this dude, I mean, Mike would jump in a circle. And, back in the day, the club circles where you grab somebody's hand and you spin around and create a circle. And then everybody's like, hey, hey. And then Mike would jump in. And if you suck, they kick you out. They push you out of the circle.
I've never been pushed out of any circle.
Dude, you would be in there for like 3 songs, man. I was getting nervous.
I would never get pushed out. Never.
So, but that, I can corroborate that you are not lying. That is exactly how the name Chocolate came.
And so over time, Chocolate.
Because you were white on the outside, but you had a black soul.
Chocolate on the inside.
He's chocolate on the inside.
So Chocolate became a long name to just call one white dude and confuse people because they were like looking over your shoulder like who's
Plus
this?
You had some white friends that would go Chocolate.
Yeah, and so that
and it just sounded weird.
So one day somebody decided it was like tired of it, cut it short, became Choco. And from that moment on, there were people that never knew that my real name was Mike. When you called me Mike, they would go, Mike's not here.
Who's Mike?
It's only Choco.
So when I started bartending on Bell, all those many years ago, 2005 I think was my first year on Bell. 2005, yeah. So 16 years. And then when you started coming and hanging out with me a lot, and I would introduce you as Choco. And people were like,
what the fuck?
All right.
Yeah.
Then they never really questioned it. And then I remember like, yeah, you see Mike? I'm like, Mike who? Like, Mike Choco. Oh, that's his name? I knew this guy for 3 years. I had no idea what his name was.
Well, we have a good friend of ours that got, 2 friends that got married in Vegas. Remember that Stephen Cindy's wedding?
Yes,
so
in Vegas.
On the plane there, we made a bet that I said to you, I place a bet that I bet you that when you call me Mike in certain crowds, they're not going to know who you're talking to.
Right.
And if they get it, I'll buy you a drink. But if they don't get it, you buy me a drink.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. Didn't remember your first name.
You know, he was like Choco, and then they were like, oh, yeah, he's right here. And then you're like, you wait, till the drink come back, and there was a group of people, and you were like, Mike. And they went.
And are we talking about a specific girl that we were very close with?
Yes, it was a couple of them. It was like 3 people.
Jazzy Jazz.
You know, they looked.
We know Jasmine for our entire lives, and I remember she forgot your name because she called you Choco for so long.
Right, like they just became. But I
it's like Mike. His name was Mike.
There's like a handful of people that were like, they were just confused, baffled.
Funny.
So anyway,
very
that's the name of how it developed, and still people when they hear that and they look at me, they're like, I don't know how that still is your nickname.
And because you are the whitest dude I know with the biggest bluest eyes, and your hair is whiter than your skin, and that's been going on since like the early 20s.
Like,
so you do look like you're 60 even though you're 54.
No, that's ugly.
So just so we could keep it moving on in a little bit of a sense, we have a few minutes left here. This is our kind of our warm-up preview show that we're just kind of like testing the waters with.
Get the kinks out.
So getting the kinks out. I mean, we're gonna have a lot more kinks, but this is kind of what you could look forward to moving forward for our podcast. We're gonna have a lot of good opinions. We're gonna bring up the pizza a lot. We're gonna talk about the New York City Pizza Gurus. For people who don't understand the name is NYC Pizza Gurus. But we talk about pizza from all over the world. And We are gurus from New York City. That's all the name means. Because we get all these on Facebook all the time. Why are we talking about pizza in Texas? Why are we talking about California? You know what? Listen, if you're a wet blanket, just get off the page, okay? I'm not begging for members. We're not begging for listeners. This is something we're doing on our own. We want to have fun, but we want people to listen, you know? But if you're going to be a wet blanket, I'm just telling you right now, I'll call it out. Don't even listen. I don't like wet blankets. You know, who the hell likes a wet blanket?
There's
you know?
nothing comfortable about
And
a
if
wet
you don't know what a
blanket.
wet blanket is, put one in the
And
shower,
lay down
and then lay
and
down,
throw
with
it on.
and then if you're one of those
Throw it
people,
on.
yeah, if you're like that person, just
You see them laying flat with
Yeah,
with
go-
a blanket over their face, just filling over there, and you're like,
those people, I just hate. I
just
hate.
try to breathe in.
I
How
hate-
does that feel?
I hate
Miserable.
negativity. I hate wet blankets. That's the perfect,
Yeah,
you know.
nobody
And if you're
likes-
that person, just go blow your dad and leave us alone. So what I wanted to say, really quick was. Our background is we have a little bit of background in the entertainment business. Mike is currently an actor, a talent agent. You're a talent agent?
No, I have a talent agent.
Oh, you have. So
I have a talent
Oh,
agent.
okay, but you're just an actor right now.
I'm just an actor right
But
now.
you've been doing it for a long time, and you're pretty successful at it.
Yeah, I've been 8 years now, and the auditions are getting bigger and more important. So,
And as your friend, I could say watching you get into it, I'm super proud of where you're at.
Well, thank you. Thank you
I think
very much.
I think you do certain things really good.
certain things.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I can't say you do everything well. It's not. I'm
It's
not going
okay.
to blow you on freaking the first
I
podcast.
don't know.
Let us
Maybe
get-
that'll bring us more
let us get
views.
past a
I don't
week or
know.
two.
I don't like
There's cameras in here, dude.
first day. First day blow.
Sorry, I was sorry. Anyway,
That is an awful technique, by the way. I know you're gonna
well,
suck at it.
we don't
so-
have the drop set up yet, so
Yeah,
I got
you
to do
don't-
sound effects.
that was just awful. Can we
But,
get that drop beat?
But yeah, we do have some experience in the business.
Yeah, you worked in.
I worked for All
production,
Mobile Video
All
for
Mobile.
production for a very long time, for 11 years. I did production. I did administrative stuff. I was a manager. I shouldn't even say administrative. It wasn't. I just put production packages together, rentals. But then I worked in the actual production business, where I worked on a bunch of shows: TRL, Life and Style, Martha Stewart. My resume is pretty good, pretty big. So, just letting you guys know that you're gonna hear some stories and some funny stuff that all can be corroborated, and I hope is corroborated by some of my former colleagues and friends.
And
we're
spilling
gonna give
out
you-
a disclaimer.
Yeah, well, I just
what
want-
I'm about to say
Yeah, no doubt.
might fucking hurt your
I
feelings.
don't care. Listen, you know what?
and embarrass a whole nation.
I'm not
but
gonna-
I
I'm
feel
not-
like I should say it.
I won't tell stories that haven't been told before. Let's just
Yeah,
say that.
well,
But again, all of what I would tell can be confirmed by some of my ex-colleagues and friends who want to call up. And we're going to give you guys a chance and ability and a hotline number to call up and whatever it may be, whether it's to add onto a story, whether it's to tell your own story, or whether it's to just give us an idea or tell us if you like the podcast or not.
Yeah,
that's kind of like what
critique
we're
is
just-
fantastic.
we want
I'm
critique.
open for it. I
Yeah.
also, if you have a pet peeve and you want to and you're out there and you're like at this moment you just want to get something off your chest because you feel like it's all bottled in and you need an outlet to express yourself. Perfect.
Call us.
Call us.
We're not. Listen, we're not going to be like a psychiatrist hotline, but
No,
if
but-
you got like fat pepperoni nipples and you're
Right.
upset about it, call us.
And yeah,
we'll talk
tell
about
us
it.
exactly
We'll hear your misery about your big fat pepperoni nipples.
whatever it is. You say you have this one pimple on your ass and it just keeps talking to you and you don't understand where the brain
you
came.
you totally